Alrighty, everyone. For those of you subscribed to the YouTube channel or watching the Twitch, of course, yesterday or 2 days ago, depending on when you see this, was a crazy day. We banned Steve from the Coinbox officially, and I still stick by it, of course. Think it was the right call. Now, of course, Coinbox is just one region, represents one region, being North America. And there are many regions in the world which do play Smash, Japan being one of them. And Japan's best player is a Steve Aquila, and their top 5 player, second best player Mia, secondary is Steve. So of course, were they to adopt, the Coinbox rule set, would be a lot of changes and shifts in the meta. But I really had no way of just going in and asking them what they think. However, it just so happened that there was a couple of threads and a poll that I thought were pretty telling. So telling, in fact, that I actually wanted to dedicate a video to this. So first off, I'm going to read what made me want to share this with you guys. Naru. Naru, of course, is a Japanese Smash player. I believe also just a prominent member of the Japanese Smash community that helps with Smash translations. Naru made a thread here, and in the thread they said, I asked my Japanese followers about what people have been saying about Steve. See the replies for the translations. Now, mind you, this was posted March 1st, 2023, one day before the Steve ban, so this is before I even announced it, and this is what Japan actually had to say about this entire debacle. The majority thinks that banning Steve is going too far. Many people actually tested it by themselves and concluded that it could be useful, but it's not like it breaks the game. And of course, I'm not surprised that Japan has this take on it. Like I said, I think of all the regions, they're the ones least likely to ban a character, even with the advent of the new tech. Since Steve does not dominate at tournaments, this part I'm not too sure, given Aquila's result. I think Aquila wins by and far the most tournaments in Japan. I'd have to look at the, we have Coinbox. They have the, what's it called? It's an online, it's an official online ladder that they use. And from what I understand, I thought Steve had the best results there too. Since Steve does not dominate at majors, it's unlikely to get banned at majors. Also, there was a line that went viral, which was Smash Bros. We always admire. It means that they don't like Fighter Pack 2 characters. It may be possible that Steve gets banned in locals. Oh. Smashmate, thank you. Smashmate is basically their Coinbox in a way. Not exactly the same, of course, but it's their online standard. But yeah, it may be possible that Steve gets banned in locals. So he's saying it's a good chance that locals start experimenting with it. Naru also said, it might be hard to use a tech and prove that it was used at tournaments. The tech clips are mostly done in training mode or aim to record how broken the glitch is, so it's not really practical. And of course, to this point, I offer the counterpoint, which is legitimately last night, Icon, who's a prominent Ryu player from Chicago, was just goofing around in Elite and hit this.
React. You have to react. You have to react.
Anvil. He hit Anvil.
React.
If you're telling me that this isn't practical, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. Like, that is such an average situation. Oh, you're above Mario. He's fishing for an up air. How is that? Like, this is one of the most common situations, and it's really not that hard to hit. It might be hard to use the tech and prove that it was used. This right here is true. Prove that it was used at tournaments is the hardest part. I've seen like 4 different rule sets now, including Collision, take their take on solely banning PMLG. One of them's like, call a TO, they'll watch the replay footage. Another one's like, call the TO, but if you were wrong, you lose the game. And it's way too messy for me. The tech clips are mostly done in training mode or aim to record how broken the glitch is, so it's not really practical. It's not about how strong or weak he is, but him doing totally different moves from other characters like building blocks makes me feel sick. Thank you. This is what I mean, alright? Everyone's PMLG this, PMLG that. We're banning the camel, not the straw. Does that make sense? This was a very, very controversial camel to start with. I don't feel like playing Smash, and I don't want to play with him, TBH. I like the brute honesty here. However, it's not that Steve occupies the results of tournaments, so it's hard to say that he's upsetting the balance in the game. What is true is that Steve is the most common character, at least for my tournament. It's online. Among spectators, that is you guys, it's weird to see the glitch used in the game, so they should ban the tech. Steve players say that this tech is difficult, and we haven't seen it used in game, so do nothing. There is a few people who hate Steve, and they want him to be banned. I don't hate Steve. I just disagree with his existence. Most of the players express that banning Steve is impossible, because even if they win the tournament without Steve, people will say Steve wasn't there. Now, this is more of like an ego and pride thing, I think. No, I don't think this is really valid. There's 84 other characters in this game. There are a lot of other characters that are really good. Really, really good. I don't know. I think winning without Steve there makes a win just as valid. It's just a character that kind of breaks the typical archetype of what you would expect. So I don't. Maybe the sentiment in Japan is different, which clearly that's what we're reading. But I don't think this is too much of the case. I do see the brokenness, and I sometimes feel the unfairness when I look back at the sets that I won. There are many sets that I did what I could to win against Steve. Okay, you're saying hard work pays off. That's fair. I believe that was Sonic's saying that too. Goroika 1 out of 3. I believe Goroika is I assume a player in Japan. What happens to Steve players if Steve gets banned in Japan? Oculus seems to have other characters he can play, so he can still win, but maybe the other characters will have difficulty. Other players have difficulty. It's hard to do NIL with 3 blocks. I mean, as far as I can tell, he doesn't get banned in Japan. But if he does get banned in Japan, it means that the players who main Steve have to find someone else. Players have to make efforts to earn it, so I don't want him to get banned. If Steve gets banned, amount of effort Steve players put in will mean nothing, and I don't like that. The idea is, let me be clear, I will never say that Steve players in the combos did not take effort. Of course it takes effort, work, and grind. I get that. But the amount of payoff you get from that work, effort, and grind is more so than any other character in this game, by a margin. Especially, I've been losing to Steve at recent offline tournaments, so I want to beat him in the future. I want to know I would feel accomplished by beating him at major tournament after I keep studying him, so I want to keep fighting with him. So, okay, so some people are making it personal goals. I get that. I get it too. I mean, hey, one of my goals is to climb Mount Everest one day. But I'm not going to do it, because I like living. Abadongo said, the truth of Steve ban. The glitch that breaks the game balance. Explosion of hating Steve in the community. So Abadongo says, I support the ban. And by the way, Abba is a multi-character specialist. He's like competed. He's used like 12, 15 plus characters in tourney. I support the ban in local communities, not to make people leave. I don't advocate the ban in the world. TO of Delta, Delta Smash, announced that they're not banning Steve on Delta 3 on March 21st. It hasn't affected any tournaments yet, so banning Steve at this moment is too soon. They think that the communities are reacting too hard before sufficient testing. Fair. Banning Steve in this situation lacks some perspective, so they think they're not ready to take the important step, which is banning Steve. And as far as I can tell, that is the thread that we have read. There's one more part to this I wanted to show you guys, which was that Vaseth, my friend, my boy, my legend, TO of Frostbite, which is a tournament series that will never be forgotten. Love it, love it, love it. Vaseth ran a poll. Would you like to participate in a tournament where Steve has been banned? He put it only in Japanese to get mainly only Japanese answers. The top bar, I believe, says yes, and the bottom bar says no. So no is winning the poll by a little bit, but only a little bit. It's 47-53, which means just like here in the States, obviously there is factions to this. There's different sentiments, but it's way more split down the middle. Here, it was. Would you guys say here it felt like 90-10 or 80? It felt like 80-20 here at least. It felt like 80-20. A lot more people in America and NA were down for it. Probably because a lot more of our top players are down for it too. It seems like it would be more interesting to ask whether or not to participate in this Steve is not banned tournament. Interesting. But if you want my prediction on what happens here, for those of you watching either here or watching this video now on YouTube, I do believe like maybe a quarter or a third of the locals in Japan will ban Steve, especially given this poll, at least to experiment. I don't see majors in Japan banning Steve. And on that topic, I actually wanted to, I almost forgot to mention this. There's one thing we haven't discussed, and that is, what are the majors in NA gonna do, right? We have NA majors coming up around the corner that need to make a decision on this, right? That includes SmashCon, that includes Collision already said their take, but you know, SmashCon, you got Major Upset. A lot of the ones that already had people sign up for it they're not going to ban Steve for sure. But the ones where registration hasn't even opened yet, they still have leeway on what they want to do. Because Onin won SmashCon, I do not think they're going to ban Steve. I know it might seem like, well, it's only one person. The thing is, it's a victory. It's become like historic at that tournament. And SmashCon, more than anything, has been a tournament that has allowed Smash 4 Bayo, Brawl Meta Knight. They allow everything and everything as is. It's actually the only major Smash 4 tournament and Brawl tournament that really happens on that scale. It's the biggest one of the year for all those. So, no shot they ban Steve at all. When it comes to Big House has been more experimental at times in banning certain things. I think of the tournaments that were really willing to jump onto the ledge grab limit for Puff in Melee. I have a feeling that whatever tournament was the first to adopt that in Melee probably will be the one that's willing to experiment with the Steve ban for the event. I'm looking for the one where people haven't signed up for yet, such as Combo Breaker, CEO. I don't think has low tide open. Yeah, low tide open reg. So I think Combo Breaker and CEO. I would love to see what Jabali does. That'll be pretty funny. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below of Japan's take, and whether you think they are or aren't going to ban Steve in the coming month for their events, whether it's online or offline. As always, thank you for watching. Everyone say bye, YouTube. Bye.